With an impressive market value of $3 trillion, this company has more cash than the most powerful government on Earth. Not just more, but twice the amount. The market capitalization of this company is so large and impressive that if it were a country, it would be more affluent than most nations, including powerhouses like the United Kingdom, France, and India. With one of the most recognizable and iconic logos in the world, it should come as no surprise that today we will talk about Apple Incorporated, the company with the largest and strongest fan base in the world, which has more money on hand than the United States of America. From their game-changing products such as the iPod, iPhone, iPad, and MacBook Pro to less notable ventures such as the Round Mouse, Power Mac G4 Cube, Apple eMate, eWorld, FireWire, HomePod Original, and their clothing line. Yes, you heard that right. They did have a highly colorful clothing line launched in 1986 called the Apple Collection. This company has seen its fair share of ups and downs. It was once on the verge of bankruptcy in August 1997, 20 years ago. Apple, however, has consistently been able to bounce back and has unquestionably established itself as one of the most thriving and successful businesses in the tech world. So join us as we learn about Apple's incredible journey to becoming the richest company in the world. Origin of Apple. It doesn't matter where you are on the globe, you can always recognize an iPhone or Mac as being manufactured by Apple because of the distinctive logo. It's also impossible to mention Apple and not think of the legendary Steve Jobs. To understand how it achieved a market value of $3 trillion, we must first look at its origin and history. Apple was founded on April 1st, 1976 by three friends hanging out in a garage: the famous Steve Jobs, the brilliant 26-year-old engineer Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. They started the business by building and selling the Apple I kit computers. Wayne would sell his 10% stake in the company, leaving Jobs and Wozniak to manage it solely. His decision to leave the startup would cost him a lot of money. A 10% share in Apple is now worth more than $95 billion. Apple I computers. Apple I computers were essentially just motherboards without a monitor or a keyboard. At the time, PCs were typically sold as kits, with the user buying components such as the keyboard and power supply separately. While Wozniak designed the Apple I, Jobs concentrated on selling it, and they received enough funding to launch their careers and establish the Apple II in 1977. Apple II computers. Steve Jobs realized the limitations of selling kit computers and decided to launch the Apple II, a pre-assembled unit with a built-in keyboard. They sold these computers for $1,298 in 1977, which is equivalent to approximately $6,383 in 2022. The Apple II became the first PC with a real business purpose and the first commercially thriving personal computer on the market. It was especially successful in the educational market, where it sold hundreds of thousands of computers to schools that wanted to teach their students how to code, causing their sales to explode. During its 16-year production run, the Apple II sold around a total of 6 million units. It wasn't all success. Failure struck when they built the Apple III, the first computer that Wozniak didn't design. The device had a slew of flaws, and Jobs later described the losses as incalculable. Mac. Everyone has heard of Mac computers. Chances are you're probably even watching this video on your Mac. But did you know that the first Mac was severely limited? It had a black and white screen, no hard drive, and just enough computing power to run its graphics program. Macintosh, or Mac, are personal computers that Apple has sold since 1984. Macs became the first commercially successful computers to use a mouse-based graphical user interface, GUI, or GUI, and sold for $2,495 each, which is about $6,819 today. Initially black and white, Apple introduced color to the Macintosh with the Macintosh II, making it more powerful in 1987. That was then. Today, however, Apple sells Macs and other devices which are unparalleled in their look and technology and have a solid fan base in both laptop and desktop forms. Even though the iconic iPhones account for more than half of Apple's income, it has other successful items, such as its iPad, which introduced tablets to the market. iPad had a 46% market share in the United States and has earned $5.9 billion in revenue. It is by far the most popular tablet on the market. Not too bad for a business that was founded in a garage. Steve Jobs' return and Apple's rebirth. There was a time when Steve Jobs resigned from Apple. When Steve Jobs was appointed as chairman, which was not the position he desired, he left Apple to launch his own computer company called Next. During this time, Apple had a series of CEOs before reconnecting with Steve Jobs again. Jill Amelio, the CEO of Apple in 1996, paid $400 million for Steve Jobs' Next to use Next's operating system on Apple devices. Regardless of this, Apple continued to take heavy losses. Amelio was fired, and Jobs was named the interim CEO. From that point onwards, Jobs went on to lead Apple into a period of rapid expansion, which included the release of the multicolored iMac all-in-one computer, Mac OS X, the iPod, iTunes, App Store, iPad, MacBook Air, and the company's crown jewel, the iPhone in 2007. Steve Jobs unfortunately developed pancreatic cancer later in his career and was forced to hand over control of the company to Tim Cook while seeking treatment. Jobs passed away in 2011, and since August 24, 2011, Tim Cook has been serving as the CEO of Apple. In January 2022, Apple became the first publicly traded firm with a market capitalization of more than $3 trillion. And analysts are already forecasting that Apple will soon reach the $4 trillion mark. How is Apple so good at making gadgets? No company does it better than Apple when it comes to creating gadgets that are powerful, beautiful, and simple to use. Apple has developed some of the most popular products in the technology industry over the last 4 decades. Creates its own technology. One of the most prominent reasons for Apple's success is that it creates its own technology. For example, while most Dell computers use Intel chips and a Microsoft operating system, Apple products are unique. The iPhone is powered by Apple's A7 chip and runs Apple's iOS operating system. Steve Jobs pioneered this approach to product design. He realized that when the hardware and software used were of 2 different companies, it was challenging to run the products flawlessly. He believed that building the entire product by the same company was essential for providing an excellent user experience. By doing this, Apple designers could control every area of the user experience and ensure that everything worked well with Apple's high standards. Keeping it simple. Another major factor for their success was that they designed products with an easy-to-use interface. Jobs was a stickler for this, and his mantra was to keep it simple. This mantra has been pushed to Apple software and hardware engineers from day one to even now. Impeccable customer service and in-store experiences. Jobs recognized one of the technology's crucial dilemmas, that even if you design products that are simple to use, specific tasks can be daunting for a particular set of customers. So he ensured all customers at all levels would be assisted by introducing their first retail store in Tokyo in 2002. It took care of any customer issues by offering amazing customer service. Whether you're speaking with an Apple support representative over the phone or in person, you can be confident that they will go above and beyond to assist you with whatever problem you're experiencing. To ensure customer satisfaction, Apple hires knowledgeable staff with excellent communication skills and, most importantly, a strong willingness to help and provide a high level of service to its customers. With respect, compassion, and commitment at the core of their value system, the company has managed to build a solid relationship with its clients and now serves as an excellent example of customer service in the tech world. Success in China. The success of Apple in the West is genuinely remarkable. Its products are in high demand, with every new product launch being highly anticipated by fans. But what stands out the most is how it has accomplished the unthinkable, creating a commercial stronghold in China when many tech companies are viewed as a danger by the Chinese government. Apple has not just survived in the country, but has also collected massive loyalty from its people. It's an item seen as a status symbol in numerous nations, and China is no exception. It is difficult to imagine today's world without Apple and its products, such as the iPhone, iPad, and the supposedly bulletproof MacBook, demonstrating to us just how very successful the brand has come to become. Apple's dominance of the tech world has been full of losses, victories, and triumphs, but it has proven its commercial potential. It did not amass its kingdom overnight. It has risen from the ashes of product failures, near bankruptcy, and the death of its founder to now being valued at $3 trillion. Apple contributed to the beginning of the smartphone era, the digital music boom, and revolutionized computers. It is here to stay, and its success story is one that is filled with years of hard work and labor. Thus, it will be challenging to overpower this company even with the stiffest competition in the market.